Football is
Football is America. If you don't like it, you can kiss your candy ass at the moment in time. I don't give a damn. Oh my God. You love this.
30-27. Chiefs win. Chiefs win 30-20.
And game 2 is maybe even more surprising than game 1. Love went into Dallas and completely destroyed them. And I gotta say, I'm a Packer fan, not like my team, but I am a Packer fan. And
Yeah.
I was happy, but let's not act like Dallas didn't totally shit the bed.
Yeah.
This is kind of the same boat I'm in with Tampa right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and this is how lines and betting get inflated, is because people get really high on a team without factoring in the fact that the other team just shit the bed. Sometimes you look like you had a great day because the other team had a shitty day. And I'm not saying that that's what happened, because Jordan Love clearly made great throws at a lot of very important moments. And he had nearly a perfect passer rating in Dallas, something that hadn't been done since Bart Starr. It was a historical performance. It'll be remembered forever. But now he's got to go to San Francisco. And you can see what I'm wearing right now. My Brock Purdy shirt. I'm a huge Brock fan. I am.
Yeah.
And I think that the Cowboys game might give Packers hope or belief. But this is a really good 49ers team.
It is.
And they are going to be at home. We talk about Brock Purdy and all the criticism that he's been under. Game manager, look at all the weapons, blah, blah, blah. Well, on the other side, Jordan Love doesn't have really any weapons that stand out. Like, we talk about Jaden Reed and Christian Watson, and sure, these are guys. I mean, Jaden Reed didn't even have one catch in that Cowboys game.
Yeah, they've really
Watson combined for one catch together.
Yeah, and they've really only emerged in the last couple seasons, really.
Yeah, no, they weren't even there 2 years ago. So, I mean, that's the difference in this game, is that Jordan Love has really, really impressed a lot of people. I would say surprised a lot of people too. And the question is he going to be able to continue this with a team that blew the Cowboys out in the regular season? With a team that they have the best running back in the NFL, period. CMC, it's not even close. Is CMC going to go off? Are the Packers going to be able to stop that? Because what did the Cowboys not do? Run the football. The Cowboys had no running game with Tony Pollard. I don't see that being the case against the 49ers. I don't. And I think this crowd's going to be in it. I think it's going to be a very hostile environment.
No.
But Rick, there are certain moments where you have to go with your heart, because love is in here. Packers. I'm taking the Packers to go into Santa Clara and upset the 49ers, not because the 49ers won't be ready, because Jordan Love is going to outplay Brock Purdy. This is going to be an unbelievable story lining up for Detroit Green Bay NFC Championship game. Just a weird year all around. But we can't act like we're not worried about the 49ers. That's a bold-faced lie. They lost 3 games in a row. And we saw what's wrong with Brock Purdy. That's when we realized Brock Purdy can be disrupted. If you can get after Brock Purdy, all of a sudden he's not the same. I still think he's growing. We got to give this guy some time. He's in year 2 or year 1 if you count rookie, but he just started doing this. When he played Dallas in the divisional round last year, he didn't look great. He didn't. Yeah. I think we streamed that game, and I think they only had 1 touchdown the entire game. And playoff football is just a little bit different. Now, I think it's very possible that the 49ers come out and they're just hitting on every cylinder, and the Packers just can't keep up. And it was like, okay, we had a good run. We got reminded, all right, the 49ers really, that's some humble pie. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go back home.
Yeah.
But I can also see a case where the 49ers show up and they look like that team that lost 3 in a row. They look like, and it's not necessarily the team I'm worried about. It's their head coach. Kyle Shanahan tends to be a totally different coach in the playoffs. And if you've been monitoring his playoff games and even his Super Bowl and the way he coaches, for instance, in the NFC Championship game last year, having the ball with 1 minute and 40 some seconds, I think, and deciding to run the clock out instead of trying to get a field goal in a game where you were down. What the hell is that about? And he's like, oh, we wanted to run the ball and see what they're going to do. Fuck what they're going to do. You go in.
You got to win.
It's your will. You worry about you. You got 1:43 and 3 timeouts. You need to be thinking touchdown, not field goal, but definitely not run the football out on yourself. That is to me, just a loser mentality. That is a scared mentality. I don't know if Kyle Shanahan's going to overcompensate and go for it on 4th down and just be wild, or if we're going to see some of the same. But one thing is for sure, the 49ers are the greatest regular season team we've had in the league in the last couple of years, but they remind me of the Colts with Peyton Manning. 13-3, get in the playoffs. Where did they go? Where's that team? And now we have to predict that that's just not going to happen anymore. Like I said, I'm backing a lot of the teams that made very bold statement wins last week that now have belief. Aaron Jones is running really great. Are the 49ers going to be able to stop Aaron Jones? This defense isn't as special as we think. Look at the numbers. Passing defense, running defense. The Packers are going to be able to move the football on them. And defensively, they got a lot of young stars that are rising up and playing really well. The one thing that Texans and Packers have in common is that they blew out better teams, favorite teams, right? They were both underdogs. They blew them out and they had a complete team win. I think that's that thing that kind of carries over into your next week. And we'll see what we get from the 49ers. Like, it's almost been a month since we've seen them, and we've seen them go through dry spells, and the Packers are the hottest team in the NFL right now. I don't know where the spread's at in this one, but I can't pick against them. I can't. And not in this situation. Not after Dallas.
Yeah.
If the Bears did that to Dallas, would you? What would you think? You think they got a good shot if they 40?
That's tough because look, the Packers aren't your first team though. They're not the Broncos. You know what I mean? And I know you like them.
The Texans aren't my team either. But
right.
I didn't see what I saw. I saw it, and to me, that's something of value. Like, that's something I can hold in my hand.
Yeah.
The Ravens and the 49ers haven't played yet. They're a mystery. They're in both
they're
of them.
They're not fucking real.
They're not fucking real. And both of them are not as good in the playoffs. Like, we don't know about Brock Purdy. He broke his elbow, but he didn't look fantastic in the Cowboys game. Mind you, they had a good defense. But the way I look at this is both teams haven't played, and these two teams actually believe that they can make it all the way. The Packers and the Texans coming off those type of wins, that's something of value that I can hold and measure. And the 49ers, unfortunately, I'm picking against them, and I got a lot of love for them, and I won't even be upset if they win this game. That is how much I Brock Purdy, sure.
Yeah.
But if you're making me pick a winner of the game, then I head on. The Green Bay Packers get the job done. And this divisional round is going to just be a mind fuck for so many people. Packers, Texans, what happened to the Ravens and 49ers? Young quarterbacks have entered the league, buddy.
Kyle, I want to take you back to a playoff game, an NFC Championship game, if you will, back in the year 2021, where the Packers were facing a Tom Brady Buccaneers team. And with just a couple, 3-4 minutes left in the game, down 8, Aaron Rodgers takes his team down to the field after starting from their own 34-yard line, and they get all the way to the 8-yard line. Down 8. And it's about 2 minutes left. Packers, sure, they've got all 3 of their timeouts, and they are 8 yards away from tying this game up, possibly with a 2-point conversion. And yet, LaFleur sends out the field goal team.
Yes.
To go down 5 points to still need a touchdown to win that game against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
What year?
Want to talk about coaching decisions with Kyle Shanahan? On the opposite sideline, it's also true with LaFleur. He
was in his rookie year as a head coach,
and that decision
and you've seen
killed
him. But that
decision killed him.
No, we see these decisions all the time. When Bill Belichick gave himself a safety in 2003, so that way he could, punt the football, play field position, and get the ball back and kick a field goal to win by 1. We applauded that. This is analytics. Like, you got 3 timeouts. Your defense has to make a stand. Now you could,
but against
if it
Tom
works out,
Brady?
we're not even. If it works out, we're not even talking about it. And part B to that is that
Matt work out.
No, it didn't, and that's why we're talking about it. That's my point.
Yeah.
And the second point is that LaFleur was a rookie head coach. If DeMeco Ryans makes a coaching mistake like that, he's going to get a pass, right? We're not going to bring it up in 3 years. Like, I feel like Matt LaFleur has proven what kind of coach he is by what he's done with Jordan Love in half of a season. He's turned him into one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in 6 weeks. No, I'm not gonna nitpick that person that did that. Clearly, he knows what the hell he's doing. He just went into Dallas and fucking outcoached Mike McCarthy and destroyed the Cowboys. So I'm not worried about a game that happened 3 years ago with a different quarterback.
But that's the last time he's been in the playoffs.
Well, he was in the playoffs last week.
But before that was the last time he was in the playoffs, right? It was in 2021 for the 2020 season.
2 years ago.
Now, look, I'm not saying rookie coach, totally gettable, but that decision right there, just like Kyle Shanahan has Kyle Shanahan had more? Absolutely he has. And we've talked about it too, right? Like, we've talked about coaches on 2 sides. LaFleur on the other, Mike McCarthy on the other side last week. And we were like, if it comes down to coaching, LaFleur's taking it, knowing that information. But we can't just be like LaFleur already number 1, top, doesn't matter. Kyle Shanahan is at his problem, sure. But we cannot just sweep that under the rug, right? And look, that was with Aaron Rodgers. That was with an offense that was clicking, that was looking good. And yes, 3 timeouts against Tom Brady and the Bucs. That was a tough decision. But they got Tom Brady.
First down, second down, and third down. They didn't get any positive yards. If you want to blame anybody for that, Aaron Rodgers on third down could have ran in for a touchdown, and he decided to throw a terrible ball. He fucked it up. So, no, I don't think LaFleur would go, oh, yeah, this is a team from like the 12-yard line on 4th down. Probably the hardest area in goal. No first down available. You have to score a touchdown. I don't even think I make the decision to go for it there.
But you don't score and you're at the 8-yard line.
If you don't have timeouts, you go for it.
You have 3 timeouts.
Yeah. You kick the field goal.
You have 3 timeouts. They had 3 timeouts. You don't get the touchdown there. You are in a better position than you were kicking the field goal and then kicking off. Or I'm sorry, you are in a better position in that situation, not making the touchdown, than making the field goal and kicking it off, because now you've got them deep in their own territory.
But they needed a 2-point conversion as well. So
correct.
If you kick the field goal, now you wash that out. That's a huge part of this.
It is, but you still need a touchdown. It doesn't matter. You still need a touchdown, and you have to go for the win or the tie.
He didn't want the game to come down to 1 play or 1 2-point conversion. Let's just kick this field goal. We'll use our timeouts, and we'll get the ball back with this Aaron Rodgers guy that can drive down the field and a touchdown. We don't even need to kick the extra point. We win. I don't have a huge problem with that call. Like
everyone in Green Bay did.
Of course, because it didn't go their way. Welcome to every 100%. Everywhere.
I'm just saying, Green Bay and everyone made sure LaFleur knew about his bad decision. Now, look,
Dan Campbell's 2-point conversion against Dallas. Everyone hates it.
Exactly.
But it worked the first time, and nobody said anything about it. Everyone loved it.
How much longer does he do that until it becomes Staley, though? You know what I mean? Like, it works When
Well,
it works,
no one
it's
has
awesome.
a
No one has a problem with it, 100%. But look, now let's look at this game, because I did want to talk about LaFleur, because let's not hold him accountable for these decisions, right? Now, the 49ers and the Packers. The 49ers have not lost to the Packers in a playoff game since 2001. They are 4-0 since that 2001 loss to the Packers. And the most recent one was on a 13-10 win off a Robbie Gould field goal, which I donated to his charity after that field goal for sending the Packers bye-bye.
Charity. Not the Packers. Charity.
So they have had the Packers number, even with Rodgers at quarterback, LaFleur, McCarthy, you name it, right? They have had their number. And I don't think that's going to change this week, Kyle. I really don't think. The 49ers beat the Packers in the playoffs, just like the Cowboys choke in the playoffs. It's like clockwork, right? Now, we talk about the quarterbacks and what Jordan Love has been able to do. We got to look at Brock Purdy. He has the best completion percentage out of all the quarterbacks left in the playoffs, almost 70%. He's got the best one out of all 8 quarterbacks left in this playoffs. He's got over 4,200 pass yards, 31 touchdowns, one below Jordan Love. I think a couple interceptions more, or right around the same, something like that. Either way, Brock Purdy has been great. We weren't talking about Brock Purdy for MVP for no reason, for nothing, right? So again, Brock Purdy, I think, maybe the better quarterback between these two, between him and Jordan Love. Recently, yeah, there's going to be Jordan Love probably has that recently, but the better overall quarterback of last pick type of quarterback who came into the latter half of last season and led his team to the NFC Championship, fucked up his shoulder. What could have been, right? If he just didn't mess up his shoulder in that NFC Championship game against the Eagles, you were rooting for him. All of America was rooting for him. It was a great story. With that being said, you got CMC, continues to be a playmaker, and we talked about it, the best running back, I think. Aaron Jones has a little something to say about that after last week and his 3 touchdowns, but CMC has been amazing. In his 4 playoff games, he has 5 total touchdowns in those 5 playoff games. Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. You've got veteran leadership up and down this roster for the 49ers. And you know, the defense, what more can you say? They got Chase Young at the trade deadline and have been an absolute better monster. They got Hargrave over the offseason. They've just been a monster at defense. And you got, oh my God, I'm forgetting the linebacker's name. 54, 53, something like that. They've just been a monster unit all season as well. And look, let's look at the Packers now.
They hurt. Oh, no, the safety got hurt, and he talked about it. What's
the safety got hurt? Yeah, I can't remember his name.
With the F.
I can't remember his name. Fungamoyo, something like that.
No, Fumagalli or he's the safety that got hurt.
Yeah. He's the one. I'm talking about the linebacker, and I think it is F. I forget his name. Fred Warner. Thank you. Fred Warner. Savage in the box. Mm-hmm. Now again, let's look at the Packers, right? Because they smoked the Cowboys last week. They smoked them. All those. Remember, I said at the end of the third quarter, the Packers were up like 40 or 30 something to 16. All the garbage points came for the Cowboys in the fourth quarter. That's all it came down to. That game's score was not the story at all. And what happened? Jordan Love threw 3 touchdown passes, had plenty of time to throw the ball because of that offensive line. We already talked about Aaron Jones and how he scored 3 touchdowns. It makes them a scary fucking offense. The defense had a great game, and they've been playing outstanding, really, in these last few games. And they caused a lot of turnovers for Dak, and they just made him generally uncomfortable. Just generally uncomfortable, rushing him, pressuring him, all of that. This defense, I think, is what's going to make the difference in this game. Whether this defense can get through to Brock Purdy, stop the run in CMC, stop their playmakers and Deebo and George Kittle, that's going to be the difference. Because I do think that Jordan Love against this team can do the same damage, maybe not to the same extent as he did against the Cowboys, but I do think it comes down to the Packers defense and whether they can perform as well as they did against the Cowboys and how they did the last 3-4 games of the regular season. I think that is going to be the big difference on whether they win or lose this game. So I'm taking, I was going to give my score. I'm taking 49ers 28-24.
The one thing I'll say, and
Wrong.
please don't pull this out of context. Nobody pull this out of context. Brock Purdy has the highest completion percentage for reasons that don't necessarily have to do with Brock Purdy being an elite quarterback, even though I think Brock Purdy is very good. Now, the one thing these players have in common, these coaches that come from the Shanahan tree, Mike McDaniel, Shanahan, some of the best play callers, Mike McCarthy had the top defense this year. All of them have this ability, and this is what I said about Brock Purdy when he made his first start. Look it up. There's a short on our YouTube. It was his first or second start. I said Mike McDaniel's ability to script a play that just it's effortless and just stand there and there he is open, right? We're talking about separation yards right now. And if you really want to get into the weeds with it, you can go on Next Gen Stats and look up which receivers had the most separation yards. Of course, Tyreek Hill, number 1. Speed, Mike McDaniel. CeeDee Lamb, number 2. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jared Goff. Dak Prescott. Tua. Are those the top 3 quarterbacks in the league? No, they're not. But, of course, they had a great season. Why? Because their receivers are getting open. Now, that there's a big difference between a quarterback hitting a wide open receiver 10 yards in front of you and a quarterback doing what Jordan Love has been doing where the coverage is tight. I think we pulled up the EPA expected pass yards per attempt. He was like plus like 50%. It was like the biggest boost, which means all of these throws, by the time he lets it go, the analytics say there's not a great chance that one's going to be caught. And they're getting caught. That is extreme accuracy. Now, if you look at the 49ers, okay, the 6th receiver, Brandon Ayuk, he has the 6th best separation. Okay, so you got Brandon Ayuk at 6. Keep going down, and then you run into George Kittle, right? He's the first tight end even mentioned. Travis Kelce is not even the first tight end. It's George Kittle.
Not this year.
George Kittle's the one that's wide open. Why? Head coach. Keep going down and keep looking. You find another 49er, Deebo Samuel. There he is, right between Tyler Lockett and Sam Laporta. And you keep going. And then you get to the first Green Bay Packer, Jaden Reed, number 41 in separation yards. And what I'm saying is that these two quarterbacks are maybe the numbers look similar, but the situation's not. The circumstances on the field are not the same. And that's why I think Jordan Love's playing at a higher level right now, is because he's able to get his receivers involved, throw these passes with receivers that are barely open. That is the quarterback making those plays. And it's not to take the credit away from Brock Purdy. It's just to say that there's a reason he has the highest passer rating of any quarterback, because they should catch these balls. They're wide open. And that is concerning for the Packers. Are their defense going to be able to hold up against these receivers that are going to be scripted open on plays? And it's going to happen. There's going to be plenty of times where Deebo Samuel is going to catch a ball and no one's within 7 yards of him. Same thing's going to happen with the tight end, Kittle. I mean, this is what's going to take place here. But if Jordan Love outduels San Francisco, it's going to be because he made immaculate throws, that he fit a football into crazy tight windows. This is what playing at a extreme high level, you've entered that territory once you start making these type of throws. And I'm not saying Brock Purdy can't get there, and it's no fault. You can't fault somebody because their coach is great, right? Their coach and their receivers are wide open. All the man can do is throw the football. But there is a very, very good reason that Brock Purdy has such a high passer rating. And I totally get what you're saying. I don't personally, the Matt LaFleur decision, I know Packer fans have a huge problem with it. That tends to happen when you have an emotional attachment to a team and it doesn't go your way. But Aaron Rodgers there was no reason to believe they were going to score on fourth down. They didn't score on first, second, third. And even if they did, then they need a 2-point conversion. And I didn't love the call to kick the field goal, but I also wouldn't have brought it up today, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't like something where it was happening and I was like, this is the right choice. It was like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay. That's really how it felt. But it to me, I don't think that it's any reflection of choking in the playoffs or making an ill decision. Honestly, going for it on fourth down would have been the emotional choice. No, we got to score right now. We're going. Instead, he seemed calm, and for many Packer fans, too calm, and maybe trusted the defense too much.
I just think that if it's easier to get in a field goal range after a stop being down 1, let's say they didn't go for 2 on the touchdown and they score a touchdown, easier to get in field goal range and kick the game-winning field goal if you make a stop against Tom Brady and the Bucs with 3 timeouts than scoring a field goal and having to score a touchdown. You score that touchdown, and if you go for 2 and don't make it, sweet, you're down 2. Guess what? If your defense makes a stop, you have 3 timeouts, you get inside the 40-yard line, you're looking at a pretty doable field goal for, what was it, Mason Crosby at the time, whoever it was. I just think that was a better decision, and I think that at that moment in time, at that particular moment in time, that's what was happening, running through the minds of people's heads, and that's why LaFleur, in my eyes, made a bad decision that day. Look, he was a rookie, and you're right. We have to look at that from a rookie head coach perspective, 100%. But I think, to me, you have to go for the touchdown there because, again, now you either have to stop them and go for 2 to win it, or you score a touchdown, you maybe don't make the 2-point conversion, you're down 2. Now you have a better shot at stopping them on defense, calling all 3 timeouts, and with Aaron Rodgers going down the field to, at minimum, the 35-40-yard line of the opposing team and going for a game-winning field goal. Now, does it suck if he doesn't make it? 100%. That one's going to be in the fields. But at least you know that LaFleur gave his team the best shot possible at being able to win that game.
Well, that's still debatable, but I see what you're saying. The other thing is in the Texans game, I think it was their second drive. They just crossed the 50-yard line. It was 4th and 3, 4th and 2. The analytics said go for it. And D'Amico Ryan sent out his punting unit. And all the announcers said the same thing. They go, first rookie head coach, maybe next year he goes for it in this situation. Yeah. But you know what? We'll never talk about that ever because the Texans won.
They slaughtered them.
They slaughtered them. So it never comes out. So I do think I respect what you're saying. But
you better.
We could definitely go in circles on this. And Tyler, he goes, "What are you doing wearing it?" That's like, tell me you came in late without telling me that you came in late. You missed. Hit the rewind button a couple notches, and it'll all make a lot more sense.
Tyler, I get paid tomorrow. I'm gonna pay you tomorrow. Don't worry.